So let us first of all throw this in open to the public. Would they welcome the idea of Buhari going for second tenure? We'll be here shouting.
Third tenor, as a matter of fact, not second, because he is.
Third tenure.
Mm-hmm.
Let us throw it open to the public. If the people now say, okay, they have the majority in the house. Let us amend the constitution. How long did it take APC, APC to get injunction that qualify them to contest the election?
Okay.
So they have the majority in the house. They could possibly amend the constitution.
All right.
In the space of 3 months and get a third term deed, a happening event. Before you know what is happening, everybody will say, okay, it's not Buhari. So,
all right, thank you very much.
And we look. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much for being a part of the show. 95.1 FM.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
This is Engineer Yudi.
Okay, Engineer Yudi, you're welcome.
My brother, I want to tell you that first and foremost, Kaba is a faction of the people to the president. These are Kaba, not this cabinet. Forget about the man I was telling you. He have always said that kind of thing before. That there's no Kaba.
Okay. Forget about my caller right now. Okay, all I need is your personal opinion.
In itself on the distance.
Okay.
Now let me leave that area. Now, you see this man from Ebonyi State. We know if we must say the truth, the president is the party that gave him ticket. And if the party say is able to lobby and get what they want, they will say, my friend, continue. Now, remember that some days ago, Lawan came out and told us that, look, anything that the president brings, that they will pass it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's assume he did succeed in whatever they brought, and really, in times of that kind of thought, it will involve going around the state, the 36 states, and they can use the EFCC to co-opt some of those house members to really give them what they want. So forget about this. The president has said he's not interested, but then there are people that they know that without him, they are finished. So.
Okay, I lost you right there. You can do well to call me back. Time check from our studios. It's exactly 15 minutes before top of the hour, 10 o'clock. Don't forget that at exactly 10 o'clock, it will be time for the news at 10. Hello, 95.1 FM.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Livingstone.
Livingstone, you're welcome. Go ahead.
For me, I don't see any justification, even on what we are discussing. There have been beautiful things we have been discussing on this platform. This very one, I don't see reason for me, because person that has spoken, either he is being used or he is talking what he wants to gaining popularity. Ordinarily assessment, Buhari was sworn in June this year. And this is November. From June to November, barely 5 months. And he is having 3 years and 7 months. When has he concentrated on his second term, his second tenure? That somebody is coming up with this now.
So already talk about third tenure.
Yes. So if you looking, even if it is a child, because I ask the people that are into politics as a profession, do they have conscience? Do they have direction? Do they have vision? What are they looking at? Or just look at it. You have an opportunity from 2019 to 2023. And there are a whole lot of things to keep you busy. In fact, if you are doing the work, you will, before the time comes, you will work and even overwork yourself.
Hello? Oh, Okay, I lost you right there. You can do well to call me back. The phone lines are still very much open. Hello, good evening, 95.1 FM.
Hello. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, my name is Everest. I'm calling from Cuba.
Okay, Everest from Chuba.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I know. Okay, you're welcome. Go ahead, please.
Okay. You see what happened in this man? Is that office of a president? It's not a. Hello?
Go ahead, please. I'm with you. I'm with you. Go ahead.
Okay. It's not the office that anyhow. You see bodies like that man go and toy with. That action is always like a head speech. Because before he would have gone to the court, he would have consulted with the president and know from him whether he will agree or not than to tell our president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria unaware on his own to go to the court. That man should be arrested. Because that office of the president is not an office that somebody should go, or the party APC is not a party that somebody should wake up in the morning as a PC body like that. They call him to go to the court and embarrass that.
Oh, man. I lost you right there. I actually meant to ask if it's Everest, the one I know, the electrician. Okay, phone lines are still very much open. You can keep those phone calls coming in right here on Opinion Poll and Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, guys.
Good evening.
My name is Seller West. I'm calling from
Seller West, you're welcome. Go ahead.
The man did not do anything wrong.
Okay.
I think the only wrong thing he did to APC is that he exposed their secret. This third tenor agenda.
But then the APC is denying him. The APC is saying he's not even one of us.
You catch politician red-handed, he will continue to deny. You know, they are very sharp and smart people. Let me tell you, have you seen a cockroach before? Cockroach. When you see a cockroach, he'll be staring at you. Maybe he wouldn't know you are there. He will just make small shake. He will watch whether he will see any reaction. If there's no reaction, he draws near. I think they are just watching the body language of Nigeria before they will finally come out with this third tenor. The president swore that he is not going to. He swore according to the constitution, and the constitution then is two tenor. And if the constitution is being amended for third tenor, he's not guilty. He say he abide by the constitution, and now the constitution says third tenor.
Well, he also said by virtue of the fact that he has really advanced age-wise, he won't be seeking a third term in office.
He has a physician. He's a physician. He's in London. There he goes. The man will say, "Look, man, you are physical. You can see room more. So you can see room for even fourth tenor." And the man will come back and contest, and people will be dying.
Well, just like I said earlier on, just like I for one would love to take the president for his words.
The way the situation of the country, anything can go, anything is possible, my brother. But people will come out, resist. Maybe some will die, some will survive, and they will still be there. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for your submission. Hello, 95.1 FM.
Hello.
Yeah, good evening.
My brother Greg, good evening. My name is Mani Ubani.
Mani Ubani, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I want to let you know that since 1999, this is the most disciplined administration this country has had. That is focused, and that is actually, very, very meticulous in pursuing their policies. You can imagine what happened in the 8th Senate, where people maneuvered themselves into Senate, and the entire country was taken for a ride. Now let me come to the.
Okay, this is by your own standards, by your own adjudication.
Yes, because it was really a travesty. But let me come to that third time agenda.
Okay.
The president said recently that he will not make that mistake of coming for a third term. But there are people who believe that the policies of the government can be pursued
that the current agenda of this government can bring, a progress and improvement in the society to the end that they will be encouraging the president to amend the constitution for them to, ensure that the president comes to a third term because of what they believe is a progressive policy of government. But I believe that the president is a man of his words. But even when we begin to quarrel about third term, what is our own strategy now? Both in the south and southeast and even in the southwest, everybody is sleeping. That is where it concerns me. These people, we have heard about Tinubu, we have heard about El-Rufai, we have heard about these people canvassing and doing some groundwork. Our own areas here in this zone are only busy talking cynically, castigating, criticizing. There is nothing on the ground. So if you criticize, yes, you cannot criticize what you cannot improve. If at the end of the day there is no alternative that has reached out to all parts of the country, because for you to become a president of this country, you must not only be in your cocoon and begin to criticize and castigate. You must reach out to all the sections of the country, and you will start. Somebody mentioned that you have 3 years ahead and all the rest of it. The people who are doing their groundwork now know that for you to be able to emerge in 2023, you must start very early and begin to spread your tentacles. So I believe that we have talked enough, we have criticized enough, we have even met so much, I can tell so much condemnation of the whole system, but even the time we had the opportunity for 6 years, what did we do with it? So all I'm saying now is, if anybody is coming from south, southeast, southwest, this is the time to start. If there is a lacuna, Buhari deserves, I repeat, deserves to go for a third term. If there's a lacuna.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so very much. Okay. 95.1 FM.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Hello?
Good evening. Name and location.
Okay, KSP.
Oh. KSP, you're welcome to the show. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. My brother, you remember when this particular comment was raining, Islamization of Nigeria? Do you remember?
Go ahead.
And almost everybody was defending the federal government. But I was shocked when federal government, in trying to defend their own selves concerning this, what's his name, El Zazaki, federal government told us that it was El Zazaki that was trying to Islamize Nigeria with the help of either Iran or whatsoever. It is not a hidden fact. It is not a confidential fact. I think competent court of jurisdiction, they tender their evidences and everything. Also anxious in defending. Mr. President said he will not contest the total, if he will not, because the Constitution did not permit him. So what if court says, Mr. President, you can go ahead? Is he not also obeying the Constitution? If today court said, how was Onogen removed? Was it not through court process? So what if tomorrow now, this particular court process now permits Mr. President to go for Tottenham? Will people still say what they are saying? When we analyze, we should carefully analyze, because for federal government to tell us that it was not, people were shouting, they want to Islamize. They said, no, nothing. It cannot happen. But the federal government of Nigeria, in their defense, told the whole Nigerians that it was a particular person that was trying to Islamize. So
okay.
If people are saying that Tottenham, this, that, nobody should tell me it's impossible, this, that. If tomorrow court says, go ahead, Mr. President will still obey the Constitution. After all, second tenor is obeying Constitution. If
all right, KSP.
God give him, he will still obey. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, KSP. 95.1 FM. Okay, I have something within the region of just 2 minutes before it's time for the news at 10. And I do think I can squeeze in just one more phone call very, very quickly. 95.1 FM, my last caller.
Yeah, Comrade Kennedy.
Comrade Kennedy, you're my last caller. Very quickly, please.
I want to suggest, I know it's a dining town. And hence that person is moving such emotion. That President Muhammad Buhari, or they tell us that they are meant to tell us. Such statement to be received. And yet, go after that person. Moving such emotion, why the president said that that have the interest to run for a third panel. Why such emotion should be moved and then, oh yes, I'm looking at that man. They should go after him. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Comrade Kennedy. What a way to wrap it up right here on today's edition of Opinion Poll. Many thanks to each and every one of you who have been part of the show. For those of you who were trying to get phone calls across but experienced difficulties, my sincere apologies. Okay, thank you so very much for sticking to this dial. It has always been the voice of the people, Today 95.1 FM, and of course, my name is Coco Greg. You can always get to call me K Greg. In a few minutes from now, in a few moments actually from now, it's going to be time for the news at 10. Keep the dials locked right here on Today 95.1 FM. Do not go an inch.
Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. Radio has never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people. Radio has never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. Whether it's happening in Port Harcourt, South, Nigeria, or around the world, we've got you covered. On air, online, delivering balanced news and unbiased analysis. Today, 95.1 FM.
This is Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. News.
A very good evening to you. This is the World News on your Premium Talk Radio. Today, 95.1 FM Port Harcourt. I am Coco Greg. The headlines. President Muhammadu Buhari asks Senate to review and approve 2016 to 2018 external borrowing plan as he jets out to Equatorial Guinea. Special advisor to Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike resigns. Youths in Rivers State issue 2-week ultimatum to state government to commence operation of Neighborhood Watch. And on the foreign scene, 25 die as government forces crack down on protesters in Iran. Now, details. President Muhammadu Buhari will depart Abuja tomorrow, Friday, to participate in the 5th Gas Exporting Countries Forum Summit in Malabo, Equatorial Guinea. The Senior Special Assistant on Media and Publicity to the President, Garba Shehu, made this disclosure in a statement. The statement said the one-day meeting will be attended by leaders of major gas-producing nations of the world. The presidential spokesman said the idea of the GECF was first mooted in 2001 when the first ministerial meeting held in Tehran, Iran, while the first GECF, otherwise called Gas Summit, took place in Doha, Qatar in 2011, with Nigeria represented at the highest level. Shehu said the Nigerian delegation will also use the opportunity to discuss current trends in the global gas market. potential policies for the energy sector, and opportunities for collaboration. At the end of the 5th Gas Summit, the Malabo Declaration is expected to be adopted. According to the statement, President Buhari would be accompanied by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyema, Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Timipri Silva, Minister of Mines and Steel Development, Olamilekan Adigbite, and the Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, Mele Kyari. After the summit, the president would head for Daura in Katsina State on a 5-day official visit. President Muhammadu Buhari has asked the National Assembly to review and approve the 2016 to 2018 external borrowing plan. The president made the request in letters forwarded to the legislature and read on the floors of both chambers of the National Assembly in Abuja. The president in the letters explained that the request was for specific outstanding projects under the 2016 to 2018 borrowing plan. He further said that the 8th National Assembly approved only a part of the external borrowing request forwarded to it in September 2016. This, according to the President Buhari, stalled the federal government's implementation of critical projects spanning across the mining, power, health, agricultural, water, and educational sectors. Like the Nigerian Senate, the House of Representatives has passed the Finance Bill 2019, submitted by President Muhammadu Buhari. The House passed the bill 1 week after it scaled through the third reading and was passed on the floor of the Senate in Abuja. The bill seeks to amend 6 tax provisions and make them more responsive to tax reform policies. Apart from the worries expressed by a cross-section of Nigerians concerning the increase in value-added tax on specific goods and services from 5% to 7.5%, the bill also amends the tax provision of the Customs and Excise Tariff Act to encourage local manufacturers. It introduces tax incentives for investment in infrastructure, capital markets, and supports small businesses. A budgetary advocacy monitoring group says it is in the benefit of government to involve community members in its activities. The group also said participatory budgeting has helped community members to become more interested in monitoring funded projects in their communities. Some members of the group who spoke at a gathering in Port Harcourt said it is engaging the government in a way that the budget and tax system reflect the needs of the people.
What has been happening in your state? What are you doing to address the issues? How are communities responding and engaging with governance processes with the different government ministries and departments? And how can we do it better next year?
So we need to continue to sensitize government on the need for them to open themselves up for the people to work with them. And that will also promote participatory, active citizenship to put these things out there. So that government understand that it is in their own interest even to open up their systems and their budgets to the people. So if the people don't know the plan you have for them, they'll keep criticizing you, they'll keep going to the media, they'll keep talking.
Like we are doing this thing not to antagonize government, and the money that they allocate for a project should be done. If it's done, we have more interest and we have more gain. There are some challenges of where the project you cannot find a site.
Other participants at the meeting said effective monitoring has ensured the commencement and completion of some projects in their communities.
We discovered that these things have not been done. The last project that was done in the school was in 2016. Even though it was a step in the right direction, still within us, we are happy that at least something came out as a result of our engagement.
But I led the women into a peaceful protest because of multiple taxations. But there's a success story because unlike before where they will collect all the money and still not keep the market neat, there are changes now. They have started doing environmental sanitation in the market.
Like the River State University is ongoing, the fencing round is on. You also heard when last time we presented that flooding is taking over River State and we cannot access some of the sites of the schools. And good enough, they have set the monitoring team in River State Assembly look at what they can do in those flooding communities. But what we are
A correspondent Ifunaya Obeme Ndukwe reports that monitoring teams from River State, Delta State, Cross River State, and Enugu State were present at the meeting. The Federal High Court in Port Harcourt will hear the matter instituted by some ex-agitators under the Presidential Amnesty Program against the federal government and coordinator of the Amnesty Program, Professor Charles Dokubo, on January 22, 2020. The ex-militants are in court to demand their entitlements, including monthly allowances from the federal government and the Amnesty Office, who they say has deliberately excluded them from all the payments. The matter, which was slated for today, could not be heard after fresh processes were filed. Counsel to the amnesty beneficiaries, Asobiata Ojenama, said the plaintiffs who were unjustly removed in 2015 want to be reinstated back into the presidential amnesty program.
The program up until 2015, where they were strangely removed. And so we've come to the court to fight for their rights and to have them enlisted back into the program. As court processes, you know that the court has an avalanche of cases that they are taking care of. January is the soonest date the court can oblige us.
Counsel to the third defendant, Fami Somiari, spoke further on what transpired in court.
We have indeed filed an application to strike out the name of our defendant because plaintiffs have not brought any claim whatsoever. However, that application is yet to be taken because plaintiffs have just served us with a reply to that application fully when we hear that application. The case is essentially between the plaintiffs and the first and the second defendant. We as the third defendant and nominal defendant are merely agents of a disclosed plaintiff.
A correspondent, Victor Isiama, reports that the matter is before Justice Ishak Saka of the Federal High Court sitting in Port Harcourt. A customary court sitting in Isiokpo community in Ikwere local government area of Rivers State has declined from granting an application for an interlocutory injunction to restrain Eze Daniel Ogbonna Dodo as the Nyali Alakahia. Chief Robinson Agbaraka and 6 others from Alakahia community had asked the court to restrain the paramount ruler of Alakahia community in Obiakpo local government area, Eze Daniel Ogbonna Dodo, from parading himself as the paramount ruler of the community. The applicants also want the court to order that a caretaker committee be set up to manage the affairs of the Alakahia community, pending the determination of the substantive matter. But in a ruling delivered by the chairman of the court, Justice A.U. Einda, the court struck out the application for lack of merit, saying that the court has no power to restrain a process that has been completed. The court thereafter adjourned till 2nd of March 2020 for hearing of the substantive matter, which was filed by the paramount ruler of Alakahia, Eze Ogbonna Dodo, seeking the court to stop the aggrieved members from removing him as a Nyali Alakahia. Speaking to newsmen, counsel to the claimant, John Nda, welcomed the decision of the court, which he said is in line with the law.
Well, the issue is in respect of the running, management and leadership of a community called Alakahia in Rivers State. And my client, who had been fully chosen and coronated as the Royal Highness of Alakahia, a group of persons who were disgruntled and aggrieved decided to set him out of the office. However, they brought an application before this court to restrain him from parading himself as the Royal Highness of Alakahia. But eventually, as the law also stands, the court refused that application. Reasons are very simple. The moment any act is concluded, an interlocutory injunction cannot lie against. And besides,
on his part, counsel to the second set of defendants, Godwin Agbaro Shimini, said he will appeal the ruling.
In the first place, we are not comfortable with the ruling. We don't accept the ruling and we will appeal against SEP over the ruling. Somebody who is not a chief keep on parading himself as a chief. And if it is not restrained, he will continue. Only God knows when this matter will end. He has enough provision at the customary court rules to stop him from parading himself as the paramount ruler and then set up a caretaker to manage the affairs of the people so that both parties will be at par, pending when this matter will end. Now, they are giving us dates in customary court. They are between a March. Maybe in that March, we will get another date again in October. Then you use that night to imagine how many years will the matter take before it will end.
A correspondent, Uchendu Ejowo, reports that the Alakahia chieftaincy tussle was initially filed before a customary court in Choba before the ruling of customary court of appeal, which ordered that the matter be transferred to Isiokpo division of the court. You're listening to the World News on Today 95.1 FM, Voice of the People. After the break, more news, foreign and sports stories. Stay tuned.
Every day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM.
Thanks for still being there. Now the rest of the news. A senior special advisor to River State Governor Nyesom Wike on physically challenged matters, Tekena Zephaniah Altrade, has resigned his appointment. In an 8th paragraph, 15-page resignation letter to the governor, Zephaniah Altrade noted that it appears that he has been disengaged of his appointment even before his resignation, following the action of the governor on his office. He complained that since his appointment in 2016, his office has never had a running cost. He added that he struggles to pay his staffers their allowances from his personal salary of about 328,000 naira. The former SA commended the governor for appointing him, adding that it proved to the world that people living with disabilities could also handle government positions. The former senior special advisor to River State Governor Nyesom Wike on physically challenged matters, Tekena Zephaniah Altrade, therefore regretted that even as an SA to a governor, he could not be able to pay his father's medical bill, which led to his death in September, since he was owed from July till date. It is unknown if the governor has accepted or rejected the resignation. Transport unions appear to be divided on the directive by River State House of Assembly Committee on Transport for the state chapter of the National Union of Road Transport Workers to stop the collection of levies from their members pending the outcome of a petition. The committee gave the order after a meeting with members of transport unions. But in an interview with our correspondent Sandra Kenneth, the chairman of the River State chapter of the National Union of Road Transport Workers, Omenia Ibarra Kalango, said the House of Assembly does not have the powers to stop the union from collecting levies. Kalango said his union does not operate under the River State laws.
I have not heard about it. If they say something like that, it's wrong. We are not working under River State government, okay? We are not working under assembly. We are not working anybody. We are private sector. The laws, the union operates are not state laws. We are national union transport workers all over the country. So we are not operating state laws. So states assembly has no right to come and say they should not this and that. They have no power to do that.
On his part, the chairman of the River State chapter of the Drivers Welfare Association, Lakia Isaac, said the directive is a welcome development.
I think that was a welcome development by the chairman House Committee of Transport. Actually, we have to abide by the state government policies and program. A union does not mean that you are a government on your own. So you have to work in accordance with the laws of the land. So if the government is saying that the ticketing system in River State should be unified, I think every union should be abide by it, and so that the driver themselves will have a leeway, so that we'll see how we can curtail the issues of multiple taxations and extortions and what have you, where you see a whole fraudulent nuisance banking on drivers on daily basis. So I think that was a welcome development.
The Rivers Transport and Investment Corporation, Rivers Drivers Transport Cooperative Union, and Self-Employed and Commercial Drivers Association had petitioned the House Committee on Transport over alleged extortion of its members by the National Union of Road Transport Workers. Successful applicants for the River State Neighborhood Watch Safety Corps have issued a 14-day ultimatum to the state government to commence the operation of the Neighborhood Watch or have them occupy the government house entrance. The applicants of the Neighborhood Watch, who were mainly the coordinators from the 23 local government areas of the state, expressed concern over the delay in the commencement of the scheme, 1 year after their training was disrupted by security agents. In a media briefing in Port Harcourt, the applicants also expressed worries that even after a court of competent jurisdiction had delivered the judgment affirming the right of the River State government to set up the scheme, the commencement has yet been delayed. In a communique read out by one of the coordinators, Prince Amatari, the group said it was ready to collaborate with security agencies to fight the prevailing crime in the state, but expressed dissatisfaction over the delay in commencement of the operations. The communique, however, commended the state governor and members of the State House of Assembly for the initiative and passage of the bill into law, but alleged that insincerity on the part of the authorities have slowed the fight against criminality in the state.
When the Operation Sting was being mooted, we thought it was a program designed for our takeoff, but to our surprise, we were not in any way part of it, yet we kept hope alive. For those who insinuated we were militia, here we are. Do militia mobilize themselves? The answer is what? No. We are not militia. We are not cultists. We are peaceful rivers youth interested in participating in securing our rivers communities and see how to attract investors into the state so that those of our other youths who are not employed in the neighborhood watch can be employed in the companies, and as well as know the more youth that are gainfully employed, the less the crime rate in the state. We have given 2 weeks of notice to the government, and at the end of the expiration of the 2 weeks, we are definitely going to take a peaceful protest to His Excellency our Governor.
Other persons who spoke on the issue including the coordinator of all the community development committees in Rivers State and a retired Navy officer, stressed the need for neighborhood watch, pleading with them to consider the plight of the youths.
We believe that just only 1 month, we believe River State will be safe for investors to come to River State. We want to beg. We are here that other states are begging people from other countries to fight crime in their state. But we are saying that we have enough youth in River State to fight crime. We want to believe that with neighborhood watch, every crime in River State will be reduced. We want also to let the governor know that all this while that he has seen that crime has been reduced in River State is the community policing effort that have been helping the police to reduce the crime.
The neighborhood we are talking about, the community leaders, we need it most because we are in charge of our communities. See, we talk about development. Without security, there's no development. River State, we need to secure our place.
Suspected herdsmen have attacked a man identified as Godwin Nwaboy in his farmland in Ngbodo Alu community in Ikwere local government area of Rivers State. Nwaboy, who is now receiving treatment at the University of Port Harcourt Teaching Hospital, was said to have been attacked with machetes. Speaking from his hospital bed, Nwaboy said the herdsmen had come into his farmland with their cattle, destroying his crops. He said the men attacked him when he confronted them over the destruction of his crops.
I did my farm yesterday. Bukarina enter my farm. As they destroy my farm, I try to tell them, say, why now? Why you are doing this? They start fighting me, begin cutting me, and nobody to help. So then to me in the way, even as of now, they UPTH.
And on the foreign scene, Iraq's southern hotspot of Nasiriyah was in bloody upheaval after a government crackdown killed 25 protesters and thousands defied a curfew to march in their funerals following the dramatic torching of an Iranian consulate. Iraq's capital and south have been torn by the worst street unrest since the 2003 US-led invasion that toppled Saddam Hussein, as a protest movement has vented its fury at their government and its backers in neighboring Iran. The enraged protesters at Tehran's political influence in Iraq burned down the Iranian consulate in the shrine city of Najaf, yelling victory to Iraq and Iran out. In response to the unrest, Prime Minister Abdel Mahdi early ordered military chiefs to deploy in several restive provinces to impose security and restore order. On entertainment, the long-standing quarrel between singer Blackface and music legend Two-Face Idibia seems to be over. This is because Blackface has apologized for comments made regarding an alleged theft. A statement from Two-Face's mediators detailed how, after 2 weeks of intervention, the pop legend agreed to an out-of-court settlement with former Plantation Boys bandmate Augustine Amedu, also known as Blackface. Blackface also confirmed the development via an Instagram post. Blackface had accused Two-Face and his manager Efe Omorogbe of intellectual property theft, claiming that Tubaba stole his songs African Queen and Let Somebody Love You. And in sports, Nigeria's Super Eagles have moved up by 4 spots in the November ranking to place 31st on the ranking table. In the ranking table on the website of the World Football Governing Body FIFA, Nigeria garnered 1,493 points as against 1,481 points gotten in October. The movement still helped the Super Eagles retain the 3rd position on the continent, behind Senegal and Tunisia, who are placed 20th and 27th respectively. On the international scene, the top 5 remains unchanged: Belgium, France, Brazil, England, and Uruguay. To end the news, here is a summary of the major stories. President Muhammadu Buhari has asked the Senate to review and approve the 2016 to 2018 external borrowing plan as he jets out to Equatorial Guinea for a summit. Special advisor to Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike has tendered his resignation. Youths in Rivers State have issued a 2-week ultimatum to the state government to commence operation of the Neighborhood Watch. And on the foreign scene, 25 persons are now feared dead as government forces crack down on protesters in Iran. That was the news as edited by Victor Iziama. For comments and inquiries, please call 081-5341-8657 or 081-4434-3502 or send your emails to news@todayfmlive.com. You can also read our stories on www.todayfmlive.com. I am Kuku Greg. Good evening and many thanks for listening.
Today's news, today's entertainment, today's sports, today's issues. Today on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. Radio has never been this good. Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
This is Today 95.1 FM. To copy this tune, press 9.
This is Today 95.1 FM.
For current news and information, press 5.
They are politicians, all of them. They know what they do.
So they know how they attack each other.
To stay connected all day, press 1.
The person who raised the name is the one who made the public know about
it. Good afternoon and welcome to the World News on your Premium Talk Radio station.
We are your Premium Talk Radio station. Today 95.1 FM, the station with a unique dial.
Today 95.1 FM.
Good morning. My name is Ifeanyi. I'm calling you from. Hello?
Yes, Today 95.1 FM. Good morning.
My name is William. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
All right, William from Port Harcourt. Go ahead.
Talk radio.
You have a right to say no, right? All right.
I'm calling from Yenipua.
Okay, thank you so much from Yenagua.
We are the station that needs no introduction. Of course, you know, we give the best in news, sports.
You like football, right?
Entertainment, politics. In fact, call it talk.
Yes, we know there's a lot you want to hear, and that is why we talk about everything.
Talk radio.
We're right before you. It's just a dial away. This is your number one premium talk radio. Today, 95.1 FM. Voice of the people.
You're welcome to the program. Let's talk. Flood has become a major issue in our society. Was there no proper drainage done for this flood? For this flood to be done? And it gets me thinking.
You see how difficult it is for them. Not all hosts know about the game. Hello and welcome to your number one news and talk radio station, Today 95.1 FM. We've got loads of news and gossip for you, but first off, let's go on a commercial break.
Radio has never been this good. Today,
glad you know now.
Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. Radio has never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
It's that time on radio. Let's take you into the life and times of men and women who inspire, role models who have shaped the world.
She is popular for her exploit as Minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which earned her the name Madam Due Process. But many don't know she started from a poor financial background. In fact, her mother used to buy her second-hand clothes, shoes and bags, popularly known as okrika. She surmounted diverse challenges to get to become a high flyer. That person is none other than Dr. Mrs. Obiageli Catherine Ezekwesili. Obiageli, popularly known as Obi Ezekwesili, was born at the Island Maternity in Lagos on April 28, 1963. She was the firstborn in a family of 6, 4 boys and 2 girls. Because of the Nigerian Biafran Civil War, her family went back to her town in Anambra State. However, after the war, she and her family returned to Lagos and settled in Ajegule, where she had her primary education in African 1 Primary School. Obi is from a financially poor family, so much that her mother had to engage in a business to complement the father's income at the Nigerian Port Authorities. Her father, who died in 1988, had tremendous impact on her life in living an exemplary life of integrity. Perhaps that influenced Obi to tour the path of integrity and due process in her dealings, especially in civil service, despite the cost. She obtained her master's degree in international law and diplomacy from the University of Lagos. She later traveled to the United States, where she enrolled in the Kennedy School of Government, Harvard University, and obtained her master's degree in public administration. She also trained in the accountancy firm of Deloitte and Touche and became a chartered accountant. Ezekwesili worked with Professor Jeffrey Sachs at the Center for International Development at the Harvard. Obiageli Ezekwesili co-founded Transparency International, an anti-corruption body based in Berlin, Germany. There, she was one of the pioneer directors, and she later came back to Nigeria and served as the Federal Minister of Solid Minerals and later as the Federal Minister of Education during the second term of President Olusegun Obasanjo. Obi Ezekwesili was once the Vice President of the World Bank's African Division, a position she held from May 2007 to May 2012. During the regime of President Olusegun Obasanjo, Obiageli Ezekwesili held the position of the pioneer head of Budget, Monitoring and Price Intelligence Unit, nicknamed Due Process Unit. It was at that time that she was given the name Madam Due Process. Owing to the outstanding work she led a team of professionals to do in sanitation of the public procurement or contract award at the federal level in Nigeria. The Nigerian Bureau for Public Procurement legislation can be described as her brainchild. Other legislation she engineered includes the NATI legislation and the new minerals and mining legislation. Apart from holding positions as the Minister of Solid Minerals, that was Mines and Steel, in June 2005, during which the period she led a vibrant reform program that led to the Nigeria being globally recognized as a credible mining investment destination. She was also the chairperson of the Nigerian Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, NATI. It was at this period that she led the first ever national implementation of the global standards and principles of transparency in the oil and gas and mining sector. Obi Ezekwesili was appointed the Federal Minister of Education in June 2006, a position she held until she went for an appointment in the World Bank in May 2007. Her appointment as Vice President for the African region at the World Bank was actually announced in March 2007 by President Paul Wolfowitz. In October 1st, 2012, Bharti Airtel, one of the world's leading telecommunications firm having operations in 20 countries, named Obiageli Ezekwesili as a director on its board. Obi is also one of the board members of the World Wildlife Fund, WWF, the Harold Hartog School of Government and Policy, the School of Public Policy of Central European University, New African Magazine, and the Center for Global Leadership of Tufts University. In May 2012, the University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, Nigeria, awarded Ezekwesili an honorary Doctor of Science degree. After nearly 300 girls were abducted from Chibok by the Islamic militant group Boko Haram, Obi Ezekwesili co-founded the viral hashtag Bring Back Our Girls campaign on social media, which urged action to bring the girls back. Some international personalities, including Michelle Obama, Alicia Keys, Chris Brown, and others, have identified with the clamor for the release of the abducted schoolgirls and the hashtag Bring Back Our Girls campaign. Her transparency was so glaring that even her boss and colleagues in the corridor of power attest to it. Malam Nasser El-Rufai quoted someone to have said, "It is only a madman who would make the mistake of saying anything related to bribery to Madam Due Process. It is not even something you would think of." Those were his words. At the age of 50, having overcome diverse challenges, including attacks on her life in days of active sanitation of Nigeria, in her capacities as Minister of Education and Minister of Solid Minerals, she is grateful to God and believes that she is a work of grace. Dr. Mrs. Obiageli Catherine Ezekwesili is fearless in saying what she believes and damning the consequences, an attribute that made her talk about Nigeria's oil money reserves during Obasanjo's regime that was not accounted for in her lecture at the University of Nigeria, Nsukka. She is at present making her contribution for the development of her country in Nigeria by giving suggestions on national economic issues.
Personality profile. Now you know.
Radio has never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
It's that time on radio. Let's take you into the life and times of men and women who inspire, role models who have shaped the world.
Ambrose Folorunsho Ali, born 22nd September 1929, died 22nd September 1989. Ambrose Folorunsho Ali was a Nigerian medical professor who served as executive governor of the defunct Bendel State, now the states of Edo and Delta, between 1979 and 1989. Ambrose Ali was born in Idoani, Ondo State, on 22nd September 1929. In his childhood, he moved between Okaudo, Ekpoma, Owo, Efon-Alaye, Benin City, and Asaba, where he completed his secondary education in 1948. He attended the School of Agriculture, Ibadan, and the School of Medical Technology at Doyo Hospital, Ibadan, where he gained an MBBS. He served as a house officer at the Adeoyo Hospital from 1960 to 1961. He went to the United Kingdom for a postgraduate course in neuropathology at the University of London from 1961 to 1966, gaining a DC pathology degree. Later, he studied at the University of Birmingham from 1971 to 1972. He was a lecturer at the University of Ibadan from 1966 to 1969 and was senior lecturer at the Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria from 1969 to 1974. From 1974 to 1979, Ambrose Ali was professor of morbid anatomy and head of the Department of Pathology at the University of Benin, Benin City. Following his academic posts, he was elected the governor of Bendel State and later founded Bendel State University, now Ambrose Ali University, Ekpoma. Many campuses in Ekpoma, Abraka, and Asaba were established during his tenure. However, with the creation of Delta State by the administration of General Babangida, the university became two universities, namely Delta State University, Abraka, and Ambrose Ali University, Ekpoma, posthumously named after him. Ambrose Ali was a member of the Constituent Assembly that drafted the 1978 Nigeria Constitution. He joined the Unity Party of Nigeria, UPN, and ran successfully as UPN candidate in the Bendel State governorship election of 1979. He brought massive development to Bendel State in different sectors, from the establishment of numerous post-primary and tertiary institutions and massive construction of roads and housing. His main thrust as governor was to increase educational opportunities. He established over 600 new secondary schools and abolished secondary school fees. Apart from the establishment of the university, he also established various colleges of education in Ekiadolo near Benin City, Warri, Ozoro, and Abo, and 3 polytechnics with a College of Agriculture and Fishery proposed for Agenabode. He also established 4 teachers' training colleges to supply staff to the new schools, as well as several other higher educational institutions. In 1981, he laid the foundation of the Bendel State University, which is now named the Ambrose Ali University, Ekpoma. Other reforms included abolishing charges for services and drugs at state-owned hospitals and eliminating the flat rate tax. His administration carried out massive construction of roads to open up the rural areas. In the housing sector, he built low-cost housing estates in Ubowo, Ipoba Hill in Benin City, and Bendel Estates in Warri. As governor, he always wore sandals, joking that he was so busy working in government house that he never had time to buy shoes for himself. When Ambrose Ali left office in 1983, he retired to his family house. After the military government of Major General Muhammadu Buhari took power, he was sentenced to 100 years in prison by a military tribunal for allegedly misappropriating 983,000 naira in funds for a road project. He was later freed when the Asama of Benin, Chief Gabriel Ibenedion, paid a fine to the government. He finally got released from the prison after the fine amount of 1 million naira was remitted by Chief Ibenedion. After the release, he was hosted by Sir Chief Dr. Ezekiel A. Ainabe. Local Government Council Ekpoma honored Professor Ali by launching his statue. In order to pay respect and for the service rendered to the community, Dr. Ezekiel A. Ainabe erected a statue at the market square in Egware, Ekpoma. Shortly after being released from prison, Ambrose Folorunsho Ali died on his 60th birthday on 22nd September 1989 at the Lagos University Teaching Hospital in Lagos. Professor Ali sacrificed his life for the people of Nigeria.
Personality profile. Now you know.
Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. Radio has never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Tell me where you did. Abosede, are you coming my way? Ooh, baby, I can't sleep. I can't eat. I can't sleep. I can't eat. Ooh, I just wanna be a fire, like a pillow, baby. Tete why? Oh, I just wanna be a fire, like a pillow, me. Can I see you today? Abosede, baby, don't delay. Oh, baby, I can't sleep. I can't eat. No, I can't sleep. I can't eat. Oh, I just wanna be a fire, like a pillow, baby. Tete why? Oh, I just wanna be a fire, like a pillow, me. tètè wá. Oh, well, I just wanna be a fire, like it below me.
This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people.
Joe, I check, I joke, babe.